Hey guys, it's Patrick Johnston, managing broker, co-owner of Go Dominican Life. This is going to be a very different video about a topic that's near and dear to me, and I think it's going to be, it's not going to be an unusual video from 20% of the population. And I wanted to bring this video as a personal video to you because I think this is something that doesn't get talked about a lot, but in the last number of years, I think it became a very critical thing for people. And let me go into detail about it. About 2 years ago, I did a video called The Runway of Life. I was walking on the beach, I had a yellow t-shirt on, and it said, "Life is good." And I was talking about, at that time, the experience that happened in my life in 2014, when I had a very large company in Canada for my size. We had about 138, 140 employees, and we were operating in 3 different provinces. So we had a real estate company, property management company, and a mortgage company. And it involved, I had 89 apartment buildings, literally 3,400 apartment units that I owned and operated. And when you summarize that down to toilets, we had around 5,000 toilets in our system. You can imagine. If you're ever involved in your landlord and you know what a toilet call is, a clogged toilet, I had 5,000 of them. So that made it a lot of fun, and I think we'll just leave it like that. So for 22 years, I ran that system that I started with zero. You know, this wasn't a company that I was inherited by family or anything like that. I started with like $2, rubbing $2 together, and built this crazy system that was crazy. And as any of you know, when you own a business or you're being a leader of another person's business, you don't realize how impactful your daily activities can be on this, your mental health and your brain. And that's the topic today of your 2.0 life and mental health, and what that means to you as an individual. Each of us are individual in how we think about it, but it's so valid to have this discussion right now because of the last couple of years. You think about the last few years. Let's go back to 2020 to today of 2024. We had the onset of pandemic, we had lockdowns, we had social isolation, we had separation from friends and family. Some countries you were not allowed to even leave, or people weren't allowed to visit you. And then at the other end of that, we've had inflation, and we had massive increases on everything, on all angles: fuel, food, supplies, shortages, supply chain issues. Like, it goes on and on and on. And all of that has, and also work from home. So all of that has changed the dynamic of what we've been used to in our life, working for 20 years, 30 years, whatever your lifespan has been in a career path, that it is literally, the last 4 years has put everything and turned it upside down. Now, if you can review that with a bit of, how do you call it? Not with spite, with hindsight, you know, technically I would say sometimes it's better, but for some of you that are still in that moment in North America, it hasn't changed. It could have got worse because on the backside of that, property taxes are going up, food inflation, all those other things are going up, fuel prices are going through the roof, especially in Canada, but they're going up all over the world. And then our salaries, if you will, have not kept up to all that pace. So that all applies to here, because sometimes some of us, our disposable income is less than it was 4 years ago, or last year, year before that. And that plays on your mental well-being, and it changes your mind. So I'm going to bring a couple things up that I want you to really keep in mind. Number one, if you are in the world of non-situational work, this environment works best for you. So if you could have and did work from home, that's perfect. Meaning you're not a doctor, you're not a mechanic, you're not a chef, meaning you have to go somewhere and work at a certain place. You're doing any kind of things that can be worked online. This conversation is most appropriate for you. Or you've been in a career for 20 or 30 years and your value of the home that you bought 20, 30 years ago has gone like through the roof. This also is for you. And for those of you that are not in that position, that are purely renting and have to go somewhere to work all the time, this is the most challenging time for you, because all of the things at all angles have been adding more pressure to the daily pressure pot. But I'll tell you this, in 2014, when I was at the peak of my stress, at the peak of my career, and I hit the wall where I just said, screw it, I've had enough. I've had enough of building everything for everybody else. I've had enough of 12 to 16 hours a day. I've had enough of 6 to 7 days a week, going on vacation with 2 cell phones and an assistant and a nanny, and then bringing everyone to the beach, but I'm inside working and everyone else is in the ocean playing. And I did that for decades. And I said, this has got to change. Remember in that video, I said I was shaving one day, I shaved one side of my face, and I put the razor down and went back to bed. Not for minutes and hours, I mean for weeks on end, when I was just reflecting on what is life really worth? Am I meant to be a machine for my entire friggin' life in chasing what I think is what I need to chase, but really, is it all worth it? So I went through this revelation from 2014 to when I moved here full time in 2017, and I turned my life into, you can call it chaos, you can call it severe change, or what I called 2.0, where I literally said, whatever I did this way, I'm now going to do this way. And I changed the whole thing around. And I'm going to give you the reasons why I did that. Because I think for you, as a subscriber to the channel, I think these things can help you put things in perspective. I wanted to, when I lived in Nova Scotia, Canada, and the challenge with Nova Scotia between October and April is the sunlight or the gray skies, cloudy, cold weather dominate. And look at me right now. Beautiful sunny skies, the Atlantic Ocean behind me, Nova Scotia directly north. We're like, oh, how's it going over there? But I have sunlight, I have sunshine, I have vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B for Brugal rum. I have all the things that I enjoy, and I have all this positive energy around me because I have flip-flops on, shorts, and generally a t-shirt 7 days a week. And I still do the activities of a business that I enjoy, that I'm skilled at, but I can do it in an environment that supports this, mental well-being, and it's so important. Number 2 is the temperature. We have a temperature of around 26 degrees Celsius on average throughout the year. Literally every day is like Groundhog Day. It's sunny, it's beautiful, it's warm. And the only differences between, say, Canada and here, it's like the freeze and thaw, freeze and thaw. The 4 seasons of clothing, which I don't need anymore. I just have 1 season of clothing. And the only major difference here in the DR is that you have the non-humidity season and the very humid season. What we call winter is non-humid, say from October to April, and humid from May until September. But that's it. I would rather take the Dominican weather, the Caribbean weather, over everything to do with what I'm used to. And that plays on your mental well-being in a positive way. The other thing I'll say is this beautiful, beautiful Atlantic Ocean has a sea temperature that is completely warm year-round. So when I finish my, if I'm working, I work early. I'm a 6 a.m. kind of guy. And I finish like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And yes, because of this, I take a 1-hour nap every day at the lunch hour. I think I'm purely becoming Latin by doing so, my little siesta time. But at 3 o'clock or at 6 o'clock, I do one of 2 things. 6 o'clock in the morning, I go for my 4-kilometer walk because there's nothing more beautiful than silence and a 6 a.m. walk. And then in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, because my office is in the hotel that I own and I live in the hotel, so my commuting time is about 3 levels down to 3 levels up. I walk from the office to my apartment in the hotel. I put my bathing suit on. I walk 100 meters or so to the beach like I am now, and I go for a swim in the ocean. And it's for this, your mental well-being. So fast forward your life and really think of your mind of where you are right now, what the last 4 years have been, and say to yourself, is it time for a change? Or are you prepared to do another 4 years of the past 4 to repeat that activity in your life? I'm telling you directly, it is time for you to make a change in your life. Less stress, you've made your money, you have assets. If you've owned your home for 20 years, 10 years, 30 years, you have more money in equity in your home than you know what to do with. You can move to the Caribbean, move to the Dominican Republic, and buy a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom villa or condo at 20% to 30% of the value of your home currently in the United States or Canada, have the rest of the money in the bank, have a third of the cost of operation of your daily life here at the beach than you would have in US or Canada, and then you can do all the things that I've just talked about. 6 a.m. beautiful walks or exercise, a 3 p.m. Or 4 p.m. swim in the ocean, a nice Brugal rum and coke with me, if you have a nice cigar, a bowl of fruit, a nice fresh Dominican Santo Domingo coffee. The choice is yours, but I challenge you. I'm challenging you deeply from your mental well-being and what I went through in 2014. It is worth being selfish to say to yourself, is it time? Is it time for you to really, seriously book an appointment with me in a video call and for us to walk with you through the process of what you need to do and how you need to do it? You're not alone. You're not alone. You're with good quality people around you that have been through it already and are here to coach you through the process. So as I said in the beginning, this is all about your mental health and mental well-being. And being someone that has experienced that in complete detail, I can tell you with full certainty, life is better at the beach. This has been a different video. It's not a sales video, but it's a wake-up call. And I challenge you, join us at the beach. Let us guide you through the process of changing your life from 1.0 to 2.0, okay? Love you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Book some time. My WhatsApp number is 829-525-1782. Take the challenge, take the time, and let's talk. It's all about this. Adios.